So over spring break, I went with my dad to Turkey because so he's thinking of buying a land there and like a couple apartments that he can like rent it out, also like a summer home for us. So it was like the first vacation. It was just me and my dad. Usually it's always me and my like whole family, my two older sisters, my two younger brothers, and like my mom as well because like we just always travel as a big family. Well, since like in college, everyone has a different spring break. It was just like the two of us, So first we actually ended up going to Bulgaria to visit my uncle and his family. And it was like, it's pretty cool because I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but it's like a nice history of like the Communist Party and all, because there's like a deep history in Bulgaria. We went to different buildings and like I learned so much and I saw like these historic stuff, which was interesting. Like,
that sounds great.
And then, so we spent one day in Sofia, which is the capital of Bulgaria.
Okay.
And it was gorgeous. You could see the mountains from like this, anywhere in the city you could see the mountains and like the snow caps and all. It's gorgeous. And then the next day we went to another city where my cousin lives and he goes to college there.
Okay.
And it was also like gorgeous. The weather was really nice for like the most part. And then we had also like my uncle's brother, like stepbrother, he was visiting too, so we had to pick him up from the airport. So it was just like all of us in like this small teeny little apartment, like bumping into each other.
Wait, were you staying at your cousin's?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's like thankfully there's like, he has 2 floors in the apartment building, but it was still like different.
Is it just him?
It's just him, but like he has extra like bedrooms and all because sometimes his parents come over and they'll stay for a couple days. So there was a sufficient amount of like space, but not like too much that you can stay comfortable in it. And so then afterwards we went to a third city, but like we were just passing by it because we were on our way to Turkey since we were driving there. And then that one's also really gorgeous. We didn't spend much time because we were in a rush. And so we started driving over to Turkey, and it's actually like gorgeous. On the way, you see a lot of more like historic things, such as like they had like this huge bazaar-style shop back in the day, like the Communist Party, and that's where like all the sales would go down, and everyone across like the both continents would like go to like buy stuff, sell stuff, and trade and all that. And it's like this huge flat land, but like back in the day, from where we were, which was like all the way on the side of it, you couldn't even get near because it was so crowded and so busy. My uncle was just like telling me because he was there during that time, and how like crazy it would get, and just you could find anything you ever wanted, like all the way from China, you could find right there in Bulgaria. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we start getting closer to Turkey because it's a 5-hour car ride-ish.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So then we go to, like, we're at the borders, but, like, the borders of Bulgaria and Turkey are also right beside Greece.
Okay.
Yeah, so my phone actually thought we were in Greece. And then I got, like, the little text from Sprint that was, like, the fees in Greece are, like, this much. Yeah, and so then for the rest of the, not vacation, but the rest of the trip, it was me, my dad, my uncle. And so, like, mind you, again, I was the only girl with, like, my uncle and my dad. And I was so used to my sisters, like, I'd always, in the car, for example, we'd play games together, mess around with each other, talk with each other. So now it was just, like, my dad and my uncle, and they had their own business. They were just, like, talking about random stuff. Or, like, remember when we were younger? Do you remember that one person? Now he's a doctor, and blah, 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 whatever. And so it was just, like, me, like, in the back of the car, like, yeah, can we, like, do some fun stuff? Can we go around? And so when we went to look at the apartments my dad was originally looking at, it was nice and all, but I didn't have my sisters to talk to and be like, oh my god, we could use this corner of the house, like we could put a cute little drawer over there and like decorate it with this, paint the walls this colors.
Yeah.
So just me walking around quietly, and even my dad's like, why are you so quiet? I just wish my sisters were here and I could like talk with them and be like, what do you think about like oh, how could we decorate this kitchen?
Yeah,
or
because
like,
I'm sure your dad didn't.
yeah,
care about those
he definitely not. I just care about
Yeah.
logistics,
Uh-huh.
how far away it is from the city, how far away it's from the metro, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And then we go to the bazaar, and that's when it's like, I love going shopping, especially like in foreign countries where it's like, there's so much stuff you can
Oh,
buy.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Right? And then it's even more fun like bargaining. Because me and my sisters, it was always like, I would be the one to find the stuff. My other sister would bargain down the price. And then the third one was like the treasurer. So like she had the money and like she had to like do the final approval before we like made a transaction.
Yeah.
So it was always like that, and then it's like my dad gave me the money to like go walk around. I'm like, this is too much responsibility.
I need my partners. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is too much responsibility. I can't do this. I'm sorry. And so yeah, but then it's also like fun, you know, walking around. Not just that, like walking around talking to people and like being like, oh, do you think this would look nice? Or like, do we have this at home? Do we need something like this at home? It was just like my dad. He'd stay for 5 minutes and be like, okay, I'm going to go with your uncle. We're going to walk around. We'll come back. They come back and they're like, you're still in this store? And I was like, it's so big. I don't have time. And then in the afternoon, okay, I'm like, I'm going to be productive. I'm going to buy and like finish quickly. And I come back with a couple bags. My dad's like, you bought so much. And I'm like,
just
what do you mean? Yeah, and so it's just like, the balance of like the first time traveling without my sisters, especially because like we do everything together. Even like here in college, we always talk to each other. We like have like a nightly house party, which is like it's kind of like a group FaceTime. And it's always fun and stuff. So it's just like being overseas with a different time and like everyone having a different schedule. It was quite an interesting trip. And it was like I felt bad. I could tell my dad also noticed it, so he'd try to like talk to me and like
involve
you know what I mean?
you,
and then he'd always be like, do you want me to take a picture of you?
At least he was trying.
I mean none of the pictures turned out nice. Again, he tries, so I gotta give him some credit. And so that was like my first trip without my sisters, and it was just like I told them we're not doing this again.
I was just about to ask you, so you would do it again?
No, I was like, next time, like, Dad, you don't have to come with us. Me and my sisters can go travel on our own. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, that sounds fun, though. Did you guys stay the whole week, then?
We stayed around, like, I'd like to say 4 days in Turkey, because the rest of it was in Bulgaria. And it's also, like, since it's overseas, traveling was a day long.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great, you know, that's another thing. Having a 12-hour flight.
Sounds miserable.
Yeah. But thankfully, like, on our way, so our plane was from Chicago to Istanbul to Sofia on the way there. And so the flight from Istanbul to Sofia was empty. Like, we each had our own row. It was amazing. Even though it's only an hour long. So it wasn't really worth it, but it was nice to have, like, that, like, relaxing
space,
time. The space before, like, we didn't have it, like, 2 hours later when we got to their apartment.
Like mentally prepare yourself.
Yeah. It was literally just, like, everyone on top of each other. But that's, like, the fun part, you know?
It's part of the experience.
Exactly. Like, the bonding moment between everyone. And it's just, like, I hadn't seen my cousins in around 8 years.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, just because the last time I'd seen them was in Syria. And with everything going on, I haven't been going at all. So this was the first time I could see them. And especially because one of my cousins, she just got engaged.
Aww.
Yeah, so she's moving to Egypt because that's where her fiance lives.
Okay.
So it was like the last time I could see her before she moved, and because I probably can't attend the wedding since it's also in Syria with everything going on. So it was really nice. And then, you know, after 8 years, when you first see someone, it's really hard to, like, have a normal conversation.
Like, where do you start?
Exactly. Like, my cousin, him and I were, like, best friends. When we were younger, we would always mess around with each other. And, like, even when I can't talk. When we were in Syria, we'd take, like, road trips around to different cities, like, with my uncles and all. We would be the two people in the back of the car, just, like, jumping on top of each other, playing games and all. And so now it's, like, 8 years later, I'm just like, wow. He's a different person, I'm a different person.
Exactly,
Those times are over. So it was interesting, like, adjusting to that barrier, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But with my other cousin, like, we got along very well. And then, like, both cousins, after a little bit, it was perfectly fine, as if, like, we'd been talking to each other every single day, and we've seen each other for, like, every single day, too.
Yeah.
So it was nice. Overall, a good trip.
Good
And I definitely enjoyed it.
Good.
But, yeah, highly recommend it. I think we're good.
Oh, yeah, that was 10 minutes.
Awesome.
Nice job.